welcome to this week's Generation 9 podcast. Your host, me, Victor Martinez, along with Ehsan Farahi, Vlad Yudin, and Edwin Mejia. The crew is here.
And we got the new member of the team, the Mr. Mustache.
Yeah, got the
Back to the
mustache
original.
going. That's it.
It's in November. Where's the mustache, man?
Oh, no, I think that was, basically to give Chris Bumstead a shout-out. Right?
Is that what it
I
is?
see Chris Bumstead say goodbye. I say, okay. I
Keep
don't
the
have a
mustache
choice.
alive. Keep the mustache
November.
alive.
You're supposed to get mustache November?
Yeah, mustache
Isn't it called
November.
not November?
No shave November.
Oh, no shave November.
Has anybody
Oh,
ever
okay.
seen Vic with a mustache?
No.
wanna see.
I go full-blown Yankees, man. That's it, man. That's it, bro.
No wonder you're a Yankee fan.
Yeah, that's it, man. No mustaches, no beards, man.
So we got a crazy episode.
I think there are a lot of mustaches.
We got a lot to cover today. It was an eventful weekend. The Mike Tyson thing. I want to talk about that. The Chris Bumstead.
Yup.
But first, let's start. Before we do the question of the day, we have a little rebuttal from a loyal listener towards you, Vic. So
Yeah.
maybe you give a little clarity on what you said.
right.
So last
Never
episode,
always right.
Ed asked you the price of the TRT. You said that costs $500 to $700 minimum per session, I guess. So the guy named CJG30 is saying the following. I work for a huge TRT clinic, and it's not that expensive at all, Victor. We charge $250 every 10 weeks.
You really said Victor, or that
He
was
said
your
Vic.
tone?
No. I'm reading exactly. He calls you out, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Excuse me?
So we charge $250 every week for blood work and $125 every 6 months. Legit company with legit DRS. And my dose is 200 milligrams per week. And I'm 49 years old, healthy male.
Is he mentioning the company name?
No, I guess he didn't want to.
It's not legit.
His name is
It's not legit.
So
CJG30.
125 for blood work. Is that
Exactly.
cash with no medical, anything of insurance being asked for? That will be a good price. If it's 125 to get a full panel and, your test levels, your GH levels, your basically your
IGF
entire
level,
panel, your
everything.
IGF level. If it's 125, that is a good price. You should let us know what company it is.
Yeah,
I
let
will
us
send people by the hordes over there.
I'm
Matter of
going
fact, I'm going there. Exactly.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
going
going-
there.
we're going
But
there.
125 full panel blood work, let's do it, man.
He says $250 every 10 weeks.
250 every 10 weeks, so you're doing 200. Let's say you're doing Cyprinate, that's 110cc bottle. They pay $20 for it. You're still overpaying, bro. You're still overpaying. You know what? Call me. I'll hook you up for 150, bro. Anyways, but it varies. It varies. Again, I said if you add GH, if you're adding some other treatments for it, it varies in price. Again, it varies from different TRT clinics.
And the way you live too, no?
Yeah, where you live. And again, a lot of these TRT clinics, some of them will use your insurance.
Maybe just first visit and talk to you on 125.
I don't know.
It's
about
not
that
make
blow
sense.
with 125. I don't know,
It's
man.
not
But you
make
know
sense.
what? Prove me wrong. Let me see if they ask no insurance from you. And
Well, look, CJ, I'd like to know personally because I would probably sign up right away.
CJ, why don't you just email us and then we'll figure it out.
Most TRT clinics, I do know, yes, they do charge between $250, $300 if it's just one bottle of test. And again, it's at an inflated price. They compound it for about $20, $15 or $18. So it's still an inflated price, but they do need to work. They do need to pay the employees, and they have to file paperwork and keep you on track. But again, it's not bad. It's pretty good. But I would recommend for people, if you don't have the money, again, some people do have money. They can do that. It's cheap. But if you're just kind of doing it for yourself, you don't have even the $300, get the blood work for $125 and self-medicate.
I think the reason why he made
right.
that comment also is because what I was saying in the last episode is if you should be financially stable to get into any type of steroid or TRT.
Yes.
Because other health issues might come up, and that's what we were trying to kind of like.
Yeah, you want to do
You know
it.
what I mean?
You want to do it right. You want to get monitored. You want to get checked. And again, for that, we're gonna send you everyone, man. We're gonna send you everyone, and I think if we send everyone to your clinic, I think they should sponsor the show too.
There you go,
So let's do a
CJG30.
barter over here, right?
CJG30, send us an email, and we want to show that we listen to our listeners. So
And
that's
again,
important.
just to reiterate, you are right. It could be $250, $300 if it's just one bottle of test. Remember, there's upcharges, peptides, GH, everything else. Okay.
All right.
Estrogen blocker.
Yes.
High CG.
Yes. Keep going. Keep going. That's not only for 300.
Let's do.
I'm just thinking impossible.
Exactly.
Let's
Just
go to-
talking test though, which yes, he's right.
Let's go to question of the day now.
So this week's question of the day
Rex?
comes to us from Dennis Barbosa 5442.
That's a cool name.
And that question is, hey Victor, how is it the best way to use comida or something else?
Probably Clomid. I think it's Clomid.
Comida,
He said
comida.
comida.
Or
you had a spell
something
check
else.
there.
Or the
The
best
only way to
stero-
do comida is to eat the comida.
It's too cool for that.
Yeah,
It's
it's
the
just-
comida, man.
I'm assuming that's a typo. Well, he says, hi, Victor. How is the best way to use comida or something else or the best steroid that doesn't aromatize? It's called HGH, guys. I know the answer.
Is it
to that
she
one.
or he?
So he's asking that for what? Probably for hair loss, something of that sort.
No, nothing else.
Didn't
That was it.
specify.
All right. I mean, the best way to use it is if you're doing any sort of test and you want to keep your estrogen levels low. That's about it. But remember, you don't want to use too much Clomid. Again, it's just, the Clomid is actually, Clomid is post-cycle.
It's a post cycle. That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. That's
yeah.
why I ask you. Is it she or he?
Yeah.
It's a he.
It's a
I'm
he.
saying, so how do you
Dennis.
use Clomid?
His
The
name is
only-
Dennis.
Yeah,
This is
Clomid.
a surgeon blocker, no? This is Clomid
No,
is
not
a
even.
surgeon.
Yeah, Clomid is just, basically for your gonads. That's post-cycle PCT. You will use Clomid. You will use some Arimidex with it and also some ACG.
Yeah.
If you're just using Clomid by itself, usually you use one 50 milligram tab for 30 days. Again, I'm not the doctor. Get one. Get the TRT clinic.
Yes. That's not a medical advice.
If you're trying to have kids, that's the only reason why you want to use Clomid, or you're on a post-cycle therapy. So that being said, again, you probably need something else more than Clomid. And I don't know, maybe you're doing some sort of fertility. Then I know a lot of my friends go through that, and Clomid is one of the drugs that they do prescribe to them. Again, not just self-medication, with a doctor. So that's the best way to use it is
And it's
only
Clomid-
if you need it.
Does Clomid aromatize or no?
No, Clomid is not. It doesn't aromatize. No, it doesn't.
Okay,
It's
so maybe you got it wrong
basically a
then.
post-cycle. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if he's asking if it's a spell check and it is Clomid, it's not really doesn't aromatize. No.
He didn't actually say it's Clomid. He said
Just
what?
comida.
Comida. Yeah, comida. I'm just assuming it's Clomid because of your spell check, but I don't know any other drug that can, decipher sounding like comida.
All right, Dennis. What's his name? Dennis Barbosa. Please send us your information and we'll get you some Dialed Moves products.
Yeah, so shout out to Dennis. You're this week's winner of Dialed Moods product. Dial your mood up with Dialed Moods. We love the RTDs. We love the fact that you get no jitters, no crashes, and it keeps us going on this podcast. We highly recommend you guys check them out with special codes as well that you can use for Black Friday and obviously all the big sales that are coming up.
Submit the questions below and Vic will pick one.
Everybody saw the big
So,
weekend.
yeah.
And Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight.
How many viewers?
Massive
like 100
history.
million? Some crazy.
60 officially,
60 million.
unofficially 65 million. They said.
So
Unofficial?
65 million.
65.
So 65 million streams.
Well, I heard it was 100 and they lost 40 because there was a glitch.
So there was about 38 million concurrent streams according to Netflix.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Which
good.
means that people were just tuning in again and again and just watching it all over again. But to Vlad's point, it was 65.
65 million. That's
65.
what the stats said. But just for comparison, so obviously it was free for subscribers, right? So if you subscribe to Netflix, you watch it for free, as opposed to
free-ish, you're paying for it.
right. But as opposed to other pay-per-view events, is where you have to pay $80 to basically watch the
But
pay-per-view.
that pay-per-view like 4 million, 5 million, more.
So in comparison, the highest pay-per-view record of all the fights of all history of all the fights was Pacquiao,
boxing or UFC?
Mayweather.
Just boxing.
in general.
That was the largest.
In general.
So Vlad, that was the largest pay-per-view event. However, Yeah.
Mayweather Pacquiao 4.6 million buys. McGregor Mayweather 4.3 million buys. And Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz only got 450,000 buys. That's just to compare the numbers. So this boxing event basically was the biggest, fight event of all time if you compare the views.
Well, it's the biggest fight event in streaming history.
Right.
So let's put it like that. It's the biggest fight event in streaming history. Shout out to Netflix for putting that together. They've been getting into live events.
The subscribers for in Netflix is $20. $20 times 60.
Yeah, it's like 700.
But it doesn't mean people subscribe to watch the fight with existing customers.
But
as well.
you have to get Netflix. The Netflix subscribers is $20.
But if you already had Netflix, that means you're not paying
Yeah, if
extra.
you already had it, or you had a Netflix party,
But
you
my
invite 20
point is,
people that
you
don't have
already
it. I
pay
don't know.
monthly $20
But it's still good.
for that.
Yes.
You know.
So look, I mean, the fight
still
was
good,
a big
yeah.
success. I think it was a big, and we work a lot with Netflix, of course, but that they do is that they big into analytics. So they took a big hit, a big risk, not a big hit, but they took a big risk with getting this fight done. But it's really more of a proof of concept because they're trying to put together live events now. They have the Christmas special for the NFL. They got the rights for the NFL on the Christmas day. They're also buying NBA rights that I've heard of. And also they're getting involved with more live events.
WWE.
So the question becomes, was this a successful event? Obviously, it was a spectacle. What did you expect from it, Vic? And what was your reaction and result, basically, based on what you watched?
I was home with the kids. I had nothing to do. Got to see it. But then again, Amanda Serrano was in it. I had to see it no matter what. So
That was the best fight of the
and
night.
plus, wherever you are in the world, the good thing is that you had access to it.
Yeah, Amanda Serrano, shout out to her, man. She's a New York native, and honestly, she's an incredible representative of the sport. She's the best champion out there, female boxer I've ever seen.
She was
I can't
amazing.
believe she lost.
She was amazing.
She's from Brooklyn, Puerto Rico, and Brooklyn, of course. And I know she's been really good friends with you, Vic, right? For many years. So.
Love the Serrano family. They're all great. Jordan, to Cindy, Amanda, all of them, their kids, they're just great. And especially, meeting her back in 2007. I knew Jordan before then. And, just seeing the rise and seeing where they are now and what she's done with women's boxing. It's just amazing, man.
That was a rematch, yeah?
Vic,
That was a rematch.
That was a
But Vic,
rematch.
the people at home want to hear your opinion on the Tyson fight specifically. They want to hear what kind of soundbite you're going to give
Which
them.
way to go? All I know is my daughter was watching it. She's 11 years old, and she's trying to make fun of him. And I said, you know what? I have to save Mike Tyson, man. I'm like, that's not really him, man. So I had to go back, show her old videos. She's like, oh, okay. All right.
I have a question. Why he's biting his hand, his gloves to not punching? He was hesitate to punch.
So there's a controversy out there, the rumor that he was biting his gloves because he obviously, number one, he has a biting problem. He says he
I
does.
thought he was just
I
missing.
think he's biting gloves to not punching.
But
was-
there's a rumor out there that says that he was biting his glove because he didn't want to punch him.
Yes.
And he was being told not to punch Jake.
Well, the
I don't know
only
how true
thing
that
I
is.
gathered from him biting his glove was he really wanted Holyfield's ear. He was trying to keep from biting.
So the controversy, the next day
ear,
after
I don't
the next day after the fight, there was a script that was leaked online, which there's no credibility to it. It's just people could have typed it up afterwards. you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is like round 1, round 2 breakdown.
Yeah.
Do you think it was scripted?
If it was, doesn't matter. We're gonna watch it anyways. Doesn't matter. They made the money.
I think it was.
And if it was,
I think it
it's
was
just-
100% a script.
It's gonna lose a
think it
lot
was
of
a script?
trust.
Oh, 100%.
Well, I mean, whether it's a real fight or whether it's scripted, I mean, that's the question is, are you saying that the fight was just scripted and then that they were going to go into it, get it paid for whatever they wanted, right? Basically. I mean, look,
Saying, yeah.
So Tyson takes the dive.
So,
for
yeah,
what?
to
How
answer-
much did he make?
20 million.
yeah,
Allegedly 20 million.
allegedly 20. However,
It's not bad, man, for a fix, right, if it was fixed.
exactly.
Bro.
Well, look, I know someone that's involved in the production. I'm not going to say who. And the lead up was all scripted, of course.
The slap thing? When he slapped him?
Everything from lead up. Now, nobody in production personnel can tell you that it was fake. The fight was fake, but everything leading up to it was. It was all scripted.
The only thing that, I might have to use a white word. The only thing that disturbed me.
I was really what you want to say.
Was his ass. Like, why? Why you had
Oh
to
my
do that,
God,
man?
why?
And Goo freaking reposted on his social media. Obviously, I missed it. I was busy, but he posted it, and I see it on my feed. I'm like, why we had to see
His butt.
old ass? I don't Mike Tyson's old ass. Like, damn, man. Like,
So obviously the
was
fight.
just neat.
But I want to say something. He was very good for 8-round boxing for 58 years old.
85.
50.
You know what? I think he did good, even if it was staged, because at 58, and I mean, the least amount of punches. I mean, I think even women throw more punches than 97. I think it was, right?
97, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty low.
Yeah, 97 by 94.
Yeah,
I think Tyson is the only retired boxer from that era that can actually make a comeback and generate
People
20
love
million.
him.
Yeah.
and
People
still be
love
on
him.
Netflix. You know what I mean?
And I think Jake not, unleashing, the barrage of punches that he could have thrown. I think it was just good.
Well, Jake, in the post conference, he said, I didn't want to hurt him. That's why I didn't unleash on him. That's what he said in the post conference. Yeah.
Well, again,
I have a question in general. Is a boxing move to Netflix? Is it that thing
Well, that's what I'm
big.
saying. I mean, they're
It'll
testing.
be big.
They're testing out every live event now, so they're taking away NBA rights.
because
Major League baseball rights.
HBO used to be showing the box.
They stopped a long time ago. Yeah.
HBO pretty much.
Showtime was big, and then they stopped
Showtime,
too.
HBO.
Yeah.
And right now, this is the new genre for
The
boxing.
Zon is the biggest one.
Well,
when it
look,
comes to-
boxing and HBO was a losing business. I mean, I know people there. They didn't make any
But
money.
60 million people
If they were
watching
making,
the
if they,
box.
yeah, but if
Netflix.
boxing was making money on HBO, they would have still had it on.
I
Trust
would
me.
have still had it. Yeah.
You got to
They weren't
understand,
making money.
if Tyson fought Jake Paul on a regular pay-per-view, it would not be 65 million people watching it. People had to pay $100 to watch it. It'd be
Yeah, people
significantly
wouldn't pay
less
that.
numbers. Significantly.
People wouldn't pay that.
Yeah.
Especially.
But I
after-
think Netflix is a good home for boxing.
For
It's
sure.
a good place for showing
Vic,
the
do
box.
you think you like boxing? You like to see.
course.
So do you think a fight like this, and obviously Mike got paid. Everybody's happy for Mike Tyson. He got 20 million. He's 58 years old, so it's tremendous, right? But as a fan, do you want to see fights like this? Like, is it just like disrespectful?
Fights like this, not really.
That's what I'm saying, right? It's
You
not.
know,
It's not fun
I mean,
to
you gotta
watch.
remember, we first got treated to the first 3 fights.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and when you see that, it was like, wow,
Right.
those were like some great fights because
Yes.
you saw the love at the end of each fight, but they were fighting each other like they just hated each other. And we got some good fights, especially Amanda Serrano, man.
That was
Once
the
you
best-
see
that was the best fight. That was
and
the
then
best
you
fight.
finish it with that, it was like, wow, it was lackluster.
So what's next for
Disappointed.
Jake Paul? What is he going to do? Like, okay, so he does these extravagant events where he's fighting these legends, right?
He's winning,
fighting.
man. He's winning.
So like, who do you think he's going to fight next?
He's
like, to outdo it?
He's offering Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, but Connor's all
offering-
hurt. He's all Connor. I don't know.
I don't think as a weight wise they can match. Jake Paul is too
I
heavy.
think he was trying to fight in
He was,
MMA.
he was 230 in the ring.
230, so
Right.
Conor is 175.
No, sorry, he was 227, I think. 227. He was a lot, yeah.
227.
Yeah.
Well, he couldn't breathe for round 7, round 8. He couldn't breathe.
No way. He was out of breath.
He was out of breath for.
And
front
those are only 2 rounds.
Front
I
of
mean, 2
58.
minutes. 2
Front
minute
of
round.
58 years old man.
Yeah.
That was a boring fight. At the end of the day, that was not a fun fight to watch.
That's my point. Like,
And
Yeah, it wasn't
look,
fun.
I mean, it was a spectacle. They did a good job with the production. They did a
Definitely.
good job with the promotion. Obviously, you had some major sponsors on there that got a lot of viewership, more than they ever thought they could see. I mean, it was a great deal all around. However, it was a horrible fight. I don't think people were happy with it. And at the end of the day, they were, I think, 71,000 tickets sold at the actual venue.
it's a huge arena.
So
Yeah. Dallas.
Jerry Jones, the Dallas Cowboy owner, had a great day. That sapped the entire organization, made millions and millions of dollars. So it was a good business. But as far as a good fight, it wasn't a
The
good
question
fight.
is: this is the last for Mike Tyson, or he coming
No,
back
Mike
again?
Tyson, no way, man. Mike is hot right now. He's gonna probably make a gummy,
Gummy
Of
for
Jake's Paul's head.
Yeah, Jake Paul, yeah, something I don't know. But he's right now. He's going with it. He's going with the wave. He's making money. He's pretty much everywhere.
So he's boxing again. And my question is: he come back to
they-
ring again?
It's not really boxing. They're more like exhibition fights.
What do you guys think of the John Jones comeback fight?
Wow.
Great. No, it was good, man.
John, I mean, come on. How many years no one can beat this guy?
Yeah.
How many years? Since 2011, no one
John
can
Jones
beat.
has been fighting, I think, since like 2010 or something like that.
That's crazy.
But shout out to John Jones, New York native, of course, originally.
Yep, that's right.
I love a dance. I love
the
it.
dance. He did the dance too, man.
John is obviously was featured in our film The Hurt Business with George St. Pierre. For those of you who haven't seen it, narrated by Kevin Costner. Highly suggest you guys check that out. That's on Prime right now as well. Look, John really dominated. He's always been a dominant fighter. Obviously, after this fight, I think he's gone down as the pound-for-pound fighter, best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in UFC history.
Yeah,
so shout out to him. That was a better fight.
Yes.
But the problem with these fights, Vic, I think that they come on too late.
It's 1:30 a.m.
It's like 1:30 a.m.
I don't know.
It's hard to watch those fights when they come on.
It's
I'm
worse
a
than
late
watching.
person, so I don't know.
But it's worse than Olympic because if you go to a fight, you want to go get some dinner after. You know what I mean? And like 1:30, damn.
Yeah, unless you get those $1 million seats, get dinner, delivered to you. You know, I don't know.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think about people saying that John Jones is dodging opponents? Do you think there's any truth to that at all?
Oh, no.
It has to be with money. The organizer, the promoter. I mean, it's really the money. Once you get to that level, is it worth the money? Because
he doesn't want to get in. Yeah, he doesn't.
You don't want to use somebody that could probably beat him, and the money's not there. He's like, why should he risk it?
Why should he do it?
You know?
Yeah, like I think he did a post interview and he said that, look, I mean, I'm at a stage in my career where I'm not looking just to fight some newcomers here, at the end of the day. And I understand that.
The newcomer's going to benefit from it.
Of course.
Not him.
Right. A big name, man.
But, it's will he risk it? His title, his name, give him somebody big, significant. And I think he'll go with it. So I know people are going to doubt him. Hey, you're dodging it. They're trying to put him in the same, lineup as Jake.
That's why
call Canelo, and then he's like, well, no.
Right. Well, that's why I respect Dana White. Dana White is someone I respect because I think he's very transparent, honest with the fights that he puts out. The fighters that want to come and fight, they'll fight. Boxing, different story. I think that you have guys like Terrence Crawford, which Vlad and I know, they won't give him the light of day. He should
messed up, man. He's the best fighter. Literally the best fighter.
He should be fighting Canelo. I think he'll destroy Canelo personally, but they won't give him the fight.
He'll be a super.
They won't give him the fight. Why they won't give him the fight? Because there's a lot of politics. These people are crooked.
Always.
So that's what happens in boxing. And at the end of the day,
they come any other way,
You don't see that as much in UFC. You don't see that. People, whoever wants to see a fight in UFC, they'll see it. They'll make it happen.
The question: if the president goes to boxing, sitting in the chair and watch the box. You don't think the level of the boxing comes to next to same UFC?
Boxing is confusing because it's different federations and organizations.
Yeah, but look at this. How many celebrity goes to UFC? I mean, Dana White celebrities.
Well, he's the man in charge. He keeps it straight, like you said. The boxing is. I mean, the MMA is just straight up. He matches
it's very simple
them.
to understand. It's a system, you know what I mean?
But once you have boxing, you have different promoters, different organization, different titles, different belts. They come from all over, and everybody just wants, what about me? What about me? With their hands.
That's what happens in boxing, where UFC is more of a unified. Yeah, everything's more unified.
One organization, it's a federation and a company and a promotion all in one situation. You know what I mean?
It's too sad to see the boxing going down like that. Because boxing, one day, I mean, come on. When the Tyson used to be fight, Hall of It, all of
Don
them.
King. Don King was around. He was just robbing them. So that's I think where you start coming, out of it. All these scheming contracts and all that. They don't want the Don King thing happening again. So I think everybody's just being careful how they sign the boxer, how they line up the fights, and is it going to sell? People are going to start doing, the $80, $100 with the inflation. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
But this is what Netflix
it's tough
come
to
in.
sell those.
Netflix going to start, negotiating some big fights. You'll see.
I think so too.
I have a question. Jack Paul right now, the beat basically a world champion, yeah?
Yeah.
Is he become world champion right now?
No, Tyson is not a holder of it. He's a retired boxer.
Yeah. No, he's retired, yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't hold
on record.
He's a former champion.
He's a former champion.
All right, guys, let's talk about the new champion. Well, somewhat of a new champion, Chris Bumstead's performance at the Prague Pro. We talked about it last week. We're making predictions, and he gets second place. Victor, what do you think about his performance?
I mean, he got second but for me, he won. He won doing the announcement. He won showing up, even though, you know, Martin got the win, but they really pushed Chris.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think Martin deserved the win?
I think so. And I think it was the right thing to do, you know. I mean, Chris, yes, he had more conditioning, you know, and
he has more line.
More lines, you know, he's got to fill up the frame, more muscle. So when it goes to the open, it's really about the muscle, how much muscle.
So basically he was lacking size.
Yeah, he's lacking size, but then you had third place Sean Clarita, that was great. He took down a lot of the big guys. You know?
I mean, that was very controversial. I think Sean Clarita looked great too, and I think a lot of other guys look great, like Horse MD.
Horse. You guys show me the videos right now.
Oh my God, Horse.
Horse looked great in my opinion.
I think he looked good.
He had the big
a couple of shots. You know, his back shot.
We just saw him in Brazil a few months ago. He was training for another show, but he looked great. I thought,
Yeah, I think he looked good. I think he could have placed a little higher. Again, you know, you're going against, you know, 6-time, you know, classic Olympia. You know, he probably sold out the tickets once he made the announcement.
Not just that, 3 times 212 world champion too. Sean Clarita is champion.
Sean Clarita. So he took down a lot of guys.
Can you imagine how much pressure Martin probably went through, because so many people showed up and they were rooting for Chris.
I know.
People flew to Prague to see Chris win.
Yes.
Can you imagine that pressure that Martin probably, and he didn't want to, he's an open bodybuilder, right? He's was a 4th at the Olympia.
Yeah, 4th Miss Olympia.
And the pressure probably on him was tremendous.
Listen, man, people love Chris so much. That's why I said, you know, he got second, but in a lot of people's eyes, he won. I mean, Chris, they love him so much, man, he could have kicked the baby off the stage, man. And they still would have cheered him on.
He can do nothing. He can do nothing wrong.
He can do nothing wrong.
Yeah, we saw the comments, and all the comments on our results page were like, "Oh, Chris won. That's just messed up. That's
what it was leaning to. Chris won. You know, it was leaning that way, and you know, but I said it, you know, on a post. Had Chris won, he would have just shaken the entire open bodybuilding category. Would have shaken it.
I think they make the right call.
It would have been a ruckus.
I think they make the right call. I mean, look, I mean, I'm not a professional judge or anything, but obviously Martin looked great. He looked more, you know, it looked bigger, and he looked like a real men's open physique, and the champion physique, honestly, that day. And I think that Chris went into that show because obviously he wanted to make a statement, but also he was shooting
He made a statement.
He was shooting good.
He knows he could be a player. That's it.
Yeah, and he was shooting his movie. He was shooting a movie about his his Olympia trajectory, and obviously it didn't pan out where he won the Open, but you know, it worked out where he competed and he came in second, and now he's unretired again, I guess, because he did say that
he's teasing the fact that he might come back again.
So he said he might come back. He's kind of like leaving it open. What do you think about that, Vic? Do you think you'll see him back on a stage? Do you think that he is retiring? Because people put out articles, people put out statements, people put out comments and posts, millions of posts out there saying, "Oh, congratulations, Chris, on your career," but now he's leaving it open. Do you think he's leaving it open?
He could do it if he decides to do it. Whatever he chooses to do it, he's gonna win, and people are just gonna wait to see what he announces, you know. What's it going to be? What's going to be the next show? And the next show he does, or whatever show he does, is going to be a successful show.
Do you think he'll come back right away, or do you think he'll take a couple years off? Like, what do you think will be the case?
I don't know, because he also said when he retired the first time that, you know, he's a father now, so he's got to take care of the kid, you know. He's got a kid, he's got his wife at home.
I don't think he's coming back.
I don't think he's going to run to compete, because I think he's done so much already in a span of a few years. And, man, this is what guys die for, doing it for 15, 20 years. And
he's an icon of the physical classic. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
I mean, icon. He made history, man.
So correct me if I'm wrong here. I mean, I've seen our history of comebacks, right? We've seen bodybuilding comebacks, and they never really turn out well. They're all actually... You could call it what it is. They're glorified comebacks, and sometimes they do well. They come in 5th, 5th, 3rd place.
Typically not. Yeah,
but
he's right.
Every comeback that I've seen personally has not been a win.
It's hard. It's hard when it comes to bodybuilding.
I mean, I've seen Kevin Lebroni's comeback. I mean, Kai Green has done a couple of pretty good ones.
And the longer the wait, the worse the comeback is.
But the longer the wait, the longer the comeback. So
he's
time will tell.
He's got a small window. I mean, he could literally take a break for a year and do fine. He'll do good. You know, because he stays on point.
Another break news: Hany Rambod has stopped coaching. So the question if he had Hany Rambod for next show or not, you know?
Right.
Because since 2021, he started with Hany Rambod and his body completely changed at that moment in time. Like 4 years right now, is since 2021. So if he has some coach like Hany Rambod to encourage him to come to open, I think he just did for fun. This show, and he wants to try himself as an open category. He don't need to compete. That's the question. He don't need to compete.
Right. So regarding Hany Rambod, right?
Yeah, I was confused about that.
He also announced, I guess, he didn't say the word retirement, but he announced the end of coaching for him, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that is the end for him in terms of coaching? And do you think, and what do you think that is? And what do you think happens next with guys like Derek Lunsford and Hany Chupon?
I think this is the end of the coaching for him.
Completely,
because again, he don't need to coach anyone. You know, he's involved with the sport, but the other perspective. And other athletes don't have a coach like Derek Lunsford. They can find another coach.
Well, who's going to train Hany? Who's going to train Hany?
But Hany has trouble right now. Hany is a trouble because of Hany don't understand English. And Hany and Hany Rambod speaking Farsi.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And Hany come to his house for 2 months, 1 month before show to be ready for that show. So I think Hany Chupon right now has a big problem for the coaching. But I don't think Chris Bumstead or any athlete or Derek Lunsford has a problem for finding a coach.
Vic, what do you think about this Hany's announcement?
I think Hany will figure it out.
It's very hard to find out.
But I think he'll figure it out because you don't get to that level not knowing anything.
I think he's going to call Ehsan tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Ehsan, you train him.
Maybe he follows Samson Dauda. Maybe he'll follow Samson Dauda. His wife coaching him.
Hey, man, everybody has a special wife like that, you know. But again, I think Hany, his retirement is just probably going down, taking it down a notch. He's in the industry for a long time. He's been creating champions. So I don't think he's out for good. I think he's doing it one way or another. I don't know how. Maybe AI will keep training some of his athletes. I don't know.
He did announce that he actually said in a post that he wants to appeal to more people. It's probably an app of some sort.
Different sports,
Yeah, I think he's definitely, probably to the level and the pressure that he's going through, he's probably tired of that part.
It's not worth it. That's my point.
Yeah.
It's not worth it to working like an athlete like a Hany Chupon, which is he gets second and then he look at Hany. What do you mean it's not?
But he's been winning every year though.
And other side, this year, Derek Lunsford gets second. And Hany get third. So all the pressure goes on him for no reason.
But wait, when Hany wins or Derek Lunsford, it brings the Evogen, his company's Evogen, right? It gives it a little boost, I think it does help.
Definitely. Definitely.
I mean,
Chris Bumstead too.
The protein did it.
Chris Bumstead too. Chris Bumstead has more than 10 million followers right now.
Of course.
And he's his coach. So I believe Chris Bumstead helping Evogen and Hany Rambod more than Hany.
It's a mutually beneficial situation, of course.
Mutual, but he's got a great roster. He created a lot of champions, and he was always on point.
But you don't think if he don't have any athlete, he can travel and go into more shows to introduce his company to people?
He's always going to have athletes. He's always going to have the followers.
Yeah.
He's going to one
form
or another.
Yeah, Hany.
Yeah.
I mean, we travel overseas and people in Mexico plead with us to give them Hany Rambod's number so they can be his coach.
No, he's one of the best of all time, if not the best coach.
Yeah.
So, look, I mean, I think that the next step is going to be how many coaches are there? Like, where are these guys going to go?
Who are the top coaches? Because Matt Jensen kind of saying he's also taking it back a little bit.
There aren't many
coaches.
Right
now, top coach is Samson's wife. Because
he won the big show.
It's a Miss Olympia.
Yeah, she won the big show. So she's a top coach.
Well, I mean, look, let's name them now. You have Neil, right? You have Neil
Hill.
Neil Hill. You have
it's Chris
Aceto, right? He's a coach.
Chris Aceto's still there.
Chad Nichols still coach?
Yes, of course.
Chad.
We have a lot of coach.
Yeah,
I don't think but you have George, of course, Farah. But who else?
George Farah,
besides those four, who do you have? I don't know any
as far
others.
as big
I
names.
mean, those are the big names. There's so many more that we don't know of that, you know, once the athlete gets
Like
up to
Ehsan
par,
Farahi.
we'll know their names, you know?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fine.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I guess, I guess Derek and Hany will have their choices of other coaches.
Of course, come on.
It's very hard.
Dennis
It's very
James, Chris Cormier, me, Ehsan.
I'm too busy, man.
Yeah, I'm booked.
Yeah. We get inquiries about Vic all the time, and we'll shoot them over to you, Vic. I mean, there's people that always want to get you coached by you, but Vic, you know, people want to get coached by Vic. You need to make sure you have dedication because Vic doesn't have a lot of time. So.
Yeah. I don't do moonlighting. I don't do coaching tourism, you know? Yeah. People just do that. So they can say,
freebies.
you know, I trained with him once.
Derek Lansford compete in Arnold Classic.
Well,
That's what they all
he
said,
should.
apparently.
Yeah, he said I'm competing. So he doesn't have a time for find a coach and really
That's a good question. Actually,
He
we'll
should,
prepare
man.
for
get into the next episode.
Arnold Classic. You know,
It's coming up soon.
Never know. But the Arnold's going to be lit up. Samson's
4
doing
months,
it.
3 months.
Samson's doing it again.
Yes, Samson
Hany's doing it.
Yes. How do you know?
No.
Let me tell you
How do you
something.
know?
For the Arnold to come even like, I mean, I don't know. I know people say there's no competition, but there's competition there. Yeah.
Always.
And there's some sort of
course.
friction there between the Olympia and Arnold. However, I don't know how they would be able to top the Olympia this past year because
I know.
that is going to be a very tall order to do in Vegas. The way the Olympia did
but
that.
it's two
event,
different shows. It's
Man.
a different ambiance when you get to the Arnold compared to the Olympia, and it's just two different spectrums. Again, it is bodybuilding. They do have all the categories, and the only thing is they don't have, 30 or 50 people in one class. It's
Right.
invitation only, so it keeps it a little bit
Right.
easier to watch.
And they had they had Bruce Buffer as well.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us in this week's podcast. Remember, follow us, like, and comment. Anywhere you want to see it, please tune into iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you stream your podcast.
And more critics.
More critics. Keep them coming, guys. Love you guys, because I know you're watching. That's it.
No, stop. Who are you? I'm the guy that's gonna change your life. Introducing Carnivore. 100% beef protein, 0 sugar, and lactose free, which means it's not gonna upset your stomach like this. You gotta try this. Best part about it is, beef builds muscle, so you're gonna grow. I'm just gonna take this away. You don't need this, man.